Hi everyone, I'm Tracy and welcome to today's video and happy holiday season to everyone out there. I'm gonna be doing a kind of a get ready with me, but also incorporate things like the new winter releases, and I'll go over what I purchased and what I plan to purchase and some other ones that I think are interesting. And I'm going to try to, well, I did pick out brushes to use today that I think are good gift brushes. So when I get to that, I'll point it out. And I also wanted to incorporate like brushes to get before it's too late, but I think that's just going to be too hard. So that'll be my next video because there's been just so many changes in the brush industry, and it feels like raw materials are becoming even more scarce to at least to the Japanese brush makers. So I know I did this about a year ago and that was a very well received video, but let's get started. I'm going to start my foundation out with the Hakuhodo LQ3, which is one of my favorite like everyday foundation brush. It's not the easiest brush to use. I feel like it takes a little bit of finessing, especially at the end, because I feel like you need to kind of smooth things out after because of the way this brush is. But I just love the way this brush feels in the hand, the way it feels on the face, and also it's very easy to clean because this is made of weasel hair, which is very coarse, and it doesn't soak up as much product, so that's another plus. It doesn't eat up as much of your foundation, even when you use it for concealer. And I'll be using smaller ones like this for concealer. And I'm using the NARS Light Reflecting plus the NARS Natural Longwear. I've been like mixing those together. And that's been like my favorite combination right now. I'm not going to do a super involved look just because I wanted to try to focus on talking about other things, which for me is not very easy. But let me just get this foundation done and I'll go over what products I'm going to be using. So I'm going to try to do like a wintry look, like a cool eye look and like a pink cheek, not a lot of bronzing, just a very little, like a light contouring. I also feel like with the cool eye look that I'm going to be doing, a little bronzer goes a long way. That's what I've been finding. It looks a little, on me at least, it looks a little garish to have a lot of bronzer and have like a light gray eyeshadow look. Okay, so if you guys are considering this brush, I love it. I think it's also a great gift brush. If someone is really into makeup, if they're kind of like a beginner, I wouldn't get this one. Maybe someone that already has foundation brushes and just wants to try something new. What I've been doing is I'll get like another brush. I'll be using the Rephr 37 to kind of smooth out everything, and I'm going to be using this later for my contour. I think this is a really good gift brush. This is the one from the most recent set that they released, and this is the one that I've been using the most. And I really like it for cream products. It kind of reminds me of the Hakuhodo J210, but better because it's not quite as dense. It's easier to wash and it's more versatile. I'm going to use the Artist 12-3. It's a large eye brush made of weasel hair. And I've been really into these brushes. I have a whole video of it, so I can link that down below if you want to see all of the concealer brushes that I have that are like this. They're mostly eye brushes, but they work great for concealer. And this type of hair, I really do like for concealer. There's something about it that it's so easy to control, you know, where your concealer goes, and it's very specific. So And this is how I've been priming my eyes. I used to use eye primer, but I don't have like super oily eyelids, so this seems to be holding my concealer in place just fine. And I like how these can get right up to the brow and cover these little dark spots I have here. So before I forget, I wanted to tell you guys about the Fude Beauty contest that they're doing. You have to make a wish list on your account, so you have to have an account with them. You don't have to have ordered, you just have to, you know, sign up for their newsletter, and then there's description, there's a whole, I'll actually put it down below. There's about a 4-step process. You have to post it on Instagram, tag like 3 people, and I forgot, it has to be like under $250, and they're going to pick 2 people to win their wish list. So that's pretty cool, pretty easy if you're looking to get some free brushes. And I'm going to use the Koyudo P3 to set my eyes. And I've been really liking this to kind of get my eyeshadow look started. If you have a person that really loves brushes, I think this one or the P4, which is a smaller version, I think these would make amazing gifts because they're not being made anymore. So, I mean, maybe by the time you watch this, they might be out of stock. But I did see them recently on Fude Japan. I think that's the only place you can get them unless you're in Japan. And then I'm going to be using the new Retro Glam palette, and I've been loving this palette. I've been using it every day since I got it. And I'm going to be using like these gray shades like this here, and then this beautiful green glitter shade, Palladium. I'll probably be using that, and maybe a little bit of this other green shade. And it doesn't seem like she did those cream to powder formulas. I mean, there's one that looks like it, but I love that she put a lot of shimmers and metallics because I love her metallic and anything glittery, shimmery she makes. I'm usually a big fan of that. All right, so let's get started with the eye look. I'm going to try to keep it to like 3 or 4 shades. Okay, I'm going to start out with the Hakuhodo Z11. So, you know, because I don't want to use my Wayne Goss 3 on camera because that is no longer being made, this is a fairly good alternative. The thing that bothers me, it's not very well made. It's like uneven. I don't know if you can see that, but it doesn't change the performance. So I like this brush to start out my look. So I usually start out with like a light wash of one of the lighter shades, either a matte or a shimmer, or sometimes both. Right now I'm going to be doing both. A little bit of a shimmer and some of that matte shade. It's kind of like sets the stage for the look I'm going for. And then I'm going to go in with the Hakuhodo S4. And this is such an underestimated brush. I think when I checked last, it was $17. And, you know, it's kind of basic, but this is it's just such a good brush for the final blend, for transition shades, for putting a shimmer, even if you want to put a shimmer all over. I'm going to use it for the transition shade today. So another thing I'm going to try to talk about at the same time are the new releases. So there's two from Hakuhodo and there's two from Sonia G that I'm interested in, or that caught my eye. One is there's two winter sets that Hakuhodo released. One has two brushes made of the squirrel and goat hair, which, if you've been following me, is one of my favorite hairs to use. And so I'm thinking of getting that one. I think it's like $95, and you get a face brush and two eye brushes. And it seems like that face brush is the same, I guess the same style as the G5538, which is a long floppy brush, which I do like my 5538, but I'm not sure. And you know what? I'll look at my notes and give you guys the details of the winter. The other one's called the winter light set, and then there's a 2022 winter set. So the one that I was talking about is the 2022 winter set, which is just 3 brushes. This is the Chikuhodo RS6, and I got this for concealer, but I'm actually really liking it as an eye blending brush and to do shimmers. So I'll use it for both. I'll show you guys how it works for both, and I'm really liking it. It's a squirrel, like pine squirrel and weasel hair mix. So it's soft, but it's also pretty firm, which makes it good for blending. And it also picks up shimmers really well. So it's gonna look kind of crazy, but I'm gonna smooth that out soon. So let's see if I can remember, without looking at my notes, the winter light set. That one is on the US site as well as Fude Japan. The other one is only on Fude Japan. So the winter light set is a bigger set. I think there's 6 brushes, 2 face brushes, and 4 eye brushes. Or one's kind of in between, like a really large eye brush. Okay, I'm gonna just do it from memory. The largest face brush is the J104. It's 100% goat hair, and that's a large powder brush. So I think this set, the winter light set, is good if you don't have a lot of Hakuhodo, because a lot of their kind of classic shapes are in this set. Like the J104, their most popular large powder brush. So if you like large powder brushes, that one's really nice. The next one is the J210, and they're all in this really beautiful white kind of pinky handle with a white ferrule. So they are very striking and very strikingly different from their standard handle. And so the J210 is a kind of shorter, round, dense cheek brush. All right, I clean this off. I'm gonna use this for the light shimmer, green, whitish shimmer shade. It's called Palladium. And just trying to get it all over. So I love how this brush will get the shimmer like all over the eye. And it just looks so, I don't know, it's so beautiful. I just really like, every time I use this for my eye look, this brush, I've been very happy with the way it comes out. All right, and then I'm gonna use a liner brush. I'll use the Bisyoto BSL1, which is my favorite like flat lining brush, the ones that are kind of longer like this. And I think this is a Kolinsky hairbrush, so this is definitely like get it before it's too late, because Kolinsky is becoming very scarce, and I would say shortly you would have to use a Chinese brush maker to get Kolinsky hair, because that's where they come from and they're not exporting it. So you would have to go to a Chinese brush maker to get this type of hair. which I know to some people is no problem. I have kind of mixed feelings on that because if you guys don't know, I am Japanese American. And so I have a kind of attachment to the Japanese brush makers. I think that's part of it. I'm gonna just blend all this in. All right, I'm gonna just go in with the B507. If I don't want like a really strong blush look. You can do this all over the face too, if you're a little more matte than you'd like. I just kind of basically like buff my skin and it gives it a slight sheen. I don't know if that's translating. I wanted to show this one because this is a good gift brush. The Hakuhodo S113, I got it in the S series, the black one. And this is not like super unique, but I think it's a very universal brush. You can use it to powder, you can use it to highlight, which is normally what I use this for, or you can use it for very like specific blush placement. And I forgot that I did this yesterday, but I thought it was very interesting. I'm going to use a couple of these eyeshadow shades. Like, I'm not suggesting it's a good use of these eyeshadows, but I really liked the way this pink shade and this light pink shade worked as a blush, just a little in a very like specific area. So if you want to just do blush in a very small area, a brush like this is nice. I'm trying to put it kind of high to give myself a kind of like a flushed look. I'm going to put a little here. You know, I haven't used this on camera and I don't know why, but this is probably my largest mixed hair brush, the G502. Probably my most expensive Hakuhodo brush, and I just washed it, so it bloomed up a lot. I was really surprised at how big it got, so it might be shedding because I washed it for the first time. But let me try this brush with this bronzer. I have not done this before, but I can't imagine it not working. Alright, so I did my mascara and lipstick off camera. I'm going to lighten this up and I'm going to go in with the Chantecaille Blur Powder. I'm going to use the Hakuhodo G6440. I'm not saying this is a good gift brush. It's a little specific because it's pretty dense, but I've been liking it for finishing powder because it doesn't disturb what you have that much, but it kind of blends everything together very nicely. So for this step, I know a lot of people use a very dense brush. This one is dense but not super dense. I don't prefer a dense brush. I think a medium density brush with short hairs, for me, it suits me better. So I'll do this side so you guys can see how this works. I don't think it's the powder. I think it's the brush. I'm pretty sure it's the brush because I've used this with other powders. So you see how this side, it kind of looks seamless versus this side, you can kind of see where, you know, the blush highlighter is. So that's really all I've been using this brush for. I thought I was going to use it for other things like blush and bronzer, but I'm really liking it for finishing. Okay, so that is it for the face. I'm going to just add a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury Dance Floor Princess. And where was I? Okay. Okay, that's a little better. All right, so I'm going to recap some of the stuff that I wasn't able to verbalize when I was doing my makeup. Okay, so the two Hakuhodo sets, one I'm seriously considering, the other one I'm definitely going to pass. The one I'm considering is the 3 brushes that are on Fude Japan. It's this brush, I think, in the goat and squirrel mix, and then there's a eye brush in that mix, and then there's a like a liner brush. And that one, I'm not sure, just because I'm not sure if I would want this in a mixed hair brush because I'm not sure. But if I do get another Hakuhodo set or another Hakuhodo brush, it would be that one. I already ordered the mixed hair eye brushes that they recently made available. As long as I've been buying Hakuhodo, they haven't made their like classic eye brushes in the squirrel and goat mix. I've only seen them here and there in sets, but they're available on Fude Japan as individuals. So if you're interested in those, I would not sleep on that. I've ordered it a while ago. It's just, it hasn't been shipped yet, but I'm really excited to get those. I was hoping to get it by now, but the Hakuhodo winter light set is the J104 in goat hair, the J210 goat hair, the J5523, which is their popular pinch ferrule eye blending brush in goat hair. The J6090 is a goat and synthetic mix. It's a little Kebble brush, which looks like it could be an eye brush, but also maybe a very small highlighting brush. And the J005, which is a goat and synthetic mix. That's a very tiny packing brush. And then they have a limited brush that looks like a little liner brush, a long liner brush made of horse and synthetic hair. That set is good if you don't have a lot of Hakuhodo because they have a lot of their classic shapes. So, you know, if you haven't gotten those yet, it's a good way to get them and try them. I already have most of those shapes, so I'm definitely not going to get that. Other 2 sets that I've been looking at, Sonia G just released 2 limited holiday sets. Let me just make sure I have it right. One is, I don't know what she calls it. It's made with a keyaki wood handle, and they're 3 eye brushes. And that's a definite yes. I'll be getting that one. The other one is a single brush that looks like, it looks a little like the Niji Pro in just goat hair. It's that very thick fan brush, and it comes with a custom holder that's made of wood. And I think it's a very beautiful brush, and I'm sure that holder is fantastic and very beautiful. I'm just not, because I don't see myself using that holder or the brush. It's more of a like a serious collector's brush, which I know I'm a collector. I don't really have space to put a lot more brushes up, so that would make sense if you're going to use the holder, and I don't see myself using the holder. Also, my Niji Pro and the Hinoki brush that I have, that I feel like is still available, looks a lot like this brush, and I don't use those. Definitely the eye brush are made with yellow Canadian squirrel and one made with white Canadian squirrel. So yeah, that looks amazing. One's a lay down brush, 2 lay down brushes and one's a crease blending brush. So yeah, that looks like something I would definitely use. And the fact that they're made out of this squirrel hair makes them very unique, and they're priced right. So that's the one like for sure I'm gonna get. And I think next week, so they're going to be released soon. I think next week, Tuesday or something, they'll be available, and they're limited. So if you do want those, you should get them like right away. I think that's going to do it. So I hope this wasn't too confusing, and I'm going to be doing a brushes to get before it's too late, and announce my 1,000 subscriber giveaway in my next video, promise. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.